Hello everyone, I'm Larry Satchwell. Welcome to my garden. October 1st, time for a garden update. Isn't that a beautiful sunflower? Well, it's kind of a cloudy, overcast day. Supposed to get some sun this afternoon, no rain in the forecast, and no 90-degree weather in the next 10 days. Whatever this tomato plant is, I don't know. It was a volunteer, but it's blooming. The other tomato plant over there actually has some tomatoes I can harvest. These are the latest sunflowers. And this one is about 7 feet tall. A big grasshopper. This will be a treat for my chickens in a few minutes. I know you heard the alarm. All of the bird feeders I have updated their firmware, and now I have to buy a subscription to all of them. So I'm not going to do that. It would be, I think it's like $5 a month times whatever they have here. So there's been very little bird activity lately. I'm mainly seeing Carolina chickadees and titmice and occasionally a cardinal. But that's not normal. I don't know what's going on. These sunflowers have come and gone, but they still have seeds in them, and they also have these critters all over them. I don't know what these critters are. I'm thinking they might be good chicken feed. So I'll probably be cutting these off. They're very interested in these sunflowers. I'll be cutting these off and taking them down to the chicken coop here in a minute. This flower bed's doing really well. I cut this back. This is a sage, I think. But it's looking very healthy for next year. This is a meadow sage. I think I could probably harvest some seeds off of this. Not sure. This chrysanthemum here was a free gift last year from Lowe's. I think they normally sell for a couple of dollars. Very tiny blooms on it. There's a Stella odora underneath it. This little sunflower did bloom. I took a picture of it when it was at its peak. My peas are coming up. They're looking a little funky. I don't know what they've got on them. Here are the 3 tomatoes ready to pick. More blooms on them, so we might get some more. The Mexican petunias are doing great. Here's my father-in-law's windmill. We took this out of his barn when we were clearing things out. It's been here ever since. 15 years now, maybe, I don't know. I have had it in different places. Right now it's covered with cypress vines. In the past, I didn't cut these cypress vines back, and this was like, I don't know, 3 or 4 feet across. I'm leaving them up here because it's one of the last flowers for the hummingbirds. And these won't go to seed very fast, but I planted this cypress vine, I think about 8 or 9 years ago, and it's now become a weed. I really have to look for it because it'll come up everywhere in the garden. I think the birds plant it. For a while, several days, couple of weeks, we were letting the chickens out, and they really have kind of decimated my strawberries here. I had a couple down here that were really thriving, and now not so much. So we've been keeping them cooped up, and I've been taking things to them. On that note about taking things to them, the squash plants that were in here got bugs. We had several helpings of fresh. We froze quite a bit, and I didn't spray it. I don't like spraying stuff. So it got bugs, and I've been taking that down to the chicken coop. This is where the buckwheat was, and you can see some of it is self-sowing. So what I'll be doing today or tomorrow when I get to it, maybe a couple of days, I'll take this soaker hose out of here, till this in, and then plant more buckwheat. Now the buckwheat won't take a frost, but if it gets up like 6 inches like this, I can till that under again to help improve my soil and use it as a green manure crop. So in this bed last time, I had some lettuce that was thriving, and I didn't have it covered up, and the chickens, they were pretty much staying around the coop, but they found it. I think this stuff is cat damage, but this is the bed I'm going to be using for winter lettuce. And so I did rescue, these plants were out of the ground. This is year-round lettuce. I rescued 3 of them, and this one's not going to make it, but 2 of them did. So I don't have a soil thermometer. I'm gonna scratch this out here. So what I do when it gets to be fall and I want to do a crop for the winter, I just plant a few seeds. Normally lettuce will come up within a week, and if it comes up, then I know it's time to plant some more. So I'll just make a small furrow here. I'm going to put some carrots in first. Put those there. Lettuce and a little spinach. A few test seeds here. Here's some spinach. I also want to put corn salad. Corn salad I had up by the basement did not germinate, none of it. So I was really disappointed in that. Put corn salad in this back row here. But my echinacea up there is doing really well. So this is Pine Tree's winter mix. And I'll just put a few seeds here. So cover those lightly. I'll just press them in here. You want to make sure they have good soil contact. And I will cover these up. I don't intend to let the chickens out, but the cats will dig in there as well. So I worked as a judge last week at the North Georgia Highland Games and came home and all of my cucumbers were dead. This has happened. They were fine when I left on Friday morning. Came back Monday morning to check on them. Walked through the garden, and this is what I got. Really disappointing because there were dozens of blooms on here. The lettuce, this one is not, but this lettuce is going to seed. And if you're a longtime viewer, you may recall I had this lettuce at the end of that tomato trestle last year, and it reseeded itself. So what I want to do is let this reseed itself. It lasted all winter without any protection. So I want to make sure these seeds make it into the garden bed. So I'll just use a little dollar store clamp here and clamp it to the wire. So now they'll fall in there. And then I'll get free lettuce. There's more on the other side. They really have a lot of seeds on them. Not much going on here in the flower garden. The balloon flowers here have all gone to seeds, and I'll be collecting those. The verbena, oh, look at here. Here's a spiderwort. It is blooming. That thing has bloomed off and on all summer. The golden finch like these seed heads, so I've left them on. I have that big lantana up there. The butterflies are very active on it. The Joe Pye weed, I think, needs more moisture, so what I think I'll do next year is dig this up, probably a foot or so deep, and put some black plastic down on the bottom to act like a pool, fill it back up, and replant my Joe Pye weed in this area right here. That'll free up some space behind it where some black-eyed Susans are going. I'm not going to put out any pre-emergent herbicide this year. I'm going to let the weeds do what the weeds do, and hopefully the Negotia and the other black-eyed Susans and stuff will seed themselves. I have been harvesting these. As you can see, I've just been collecting some of them and leaving some of them for the birds. Negotia has reseeded itself and is really doing well. My pond finally sprung a leak and it doesn't hold water overnight, so I've turned it off. I turn it on in the afternoon when I have the hose out to fill it up. The Cant Mint, that I have right here, I planted a couple weeks ago. It is beautiful. The pollinators love it. And so that's going to be a permanent addition right there. I don't remember what that flower is called, but it has been thriving. I cut it back. The daisy-looking flowers up there, that's actually a chrysanthemum, and they bloom this time of year. Daisies are one of my wife's favorite flowers, so that plant has been there at least 5 or 6 years, and it is really doing well. So in this bare space right here, the echinacea that I have up by the basement in the 3-inch pots, I'm going to put every one of those plants in this bare spot, and hopefully they'll overwinter. The zinnias have done what zinnias do. gone to seed. They're too moist to harvest right now. The echinacea, they haven't quite matured yet, but I will be taking those seed heads off as well. Not much else going on. I'm here with this African purple basil. What a plant. There are, I don't know how many plants in here, several, but it will soon be time for me to take some cuttings and see if I can keep them alive over the winter. So this is where I'm going to leave you today. I hope that my fall garden will come in and we have some things to share with you next time. This is a really slow time for gardening. It's a great time to get some soil tested and things like that. So as always, I hope you're doing well. I'm doing fantastic, leading the life I love with the woman I love. So I couldn't be better. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. I'll see you in the garden on October 15th.